My daughter's phone started ringing. It was next to me, and I saw that the caller ID showed my husband's number. "Monica, your father is calling," I said. "Can you put it on speaker?" she asked. I did as she said and placed the phone on speaker. Then, I heard my husband's voice. "Good morning, sweetie. How is she? How's she doing?" "She just woke up," Monica replied. "She's already awake." My husband sounded surprised. I held my breath because I didn't quite understand what he meant. "My name is Nora. I'm 45 years old, a stay-at-home mom with a husband and a daughter. My husband and I met through a friend, and I was attracted to his kindness back then. We got married and had a happy life for many years." "Nora, thank you for being a housewife," he'd say to me. "Should we take a holiday next time?" "Sure, let's go to the spa," I'd reply. He liked showing appreciation for my work at home, and we often took trips together, especially after we had our daughter. We'd go to amusement parks and zoos as a family. But after 15 years of marriage, things changed. Our relationship became distant. I would cook dinner every night, but my husband started going out to eat after work instead of coming home to eat with us. "Did you go out to eat again? I cooked for you. Couldn't you at least tell me?" I asked him. "Shut up. Who do you think pays for the food? Don't talk back to me. I'm the one who provides for this family," he'd yell. My husband works for a construction company. He's a big man, and when he's angry, he sometimes gets violent with me. Our relationship has really gone cold, and it wasn't always like this. We used to be happy, but now things are different. If it weren't for my daughter, I would have divorced him already, but I stay for her. His behavior changed about 3 years ago. He used to be a responsible husband, but now it's like he's a different person. He'd come home and say, "What's for dinner?" "Welcome home. I'm making it now," I'd reply. "What? It's not ready yet? You're completely useless. I'm going out to eat," he'd say, storming off. I try to explain that dinner was almost ready, but he'd insist that as the head of the family, his dinner should be ready the moment he walks in. Then he'd just leave to eat elsewhere. At first, my husband only complained when dinner wasn't ready. But as he became more stressed, his behavior got worse and he started getting violent. He would hurt me in places where the bruises wouldn't be easily seen, and things just kept getting worse. This year, my daughter is in her 3rd year of junior high school. She's focused on her goals and stays up late studying with friends and going to cram school to prepare for her entrance exams. Even though my relationship with my husband is terrible, we pretend everything is fine in front of her, so she doesn't know what's really going on or that he's hurt me. In front of our daughter, my husband puts on a smile and acts like a good father. But my daughter is in her rebellious phase and isn't really interested in him. Even when she comes home late, she always eats dinner with me and calls to let me know when she's out with friends. One day, my daughter came home while my husband was taking a bath. "I'm home, and I'm hungry," she said. "Welcome back, Monica. It's late, so I made a light dinner," I replied. "Mom, you're so good. Did Dad skip dinner again?" "Oh, I think he ate out today." "Again? He should at least tell us," she said, sounding annoyed. "Monica, you must be tired from studying so much." "No, it's fine. I'm working hard for my goals, but the side dishes are going to waste. I wish I could take them to school." "Thank you. Don't worry about it. Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah, your cooking is amazing. I just wish Dad didn't eat out so often," she said before going to take a bath and then heading back to her room after eating. My daughter is going through a tough time right now, and that's why I'm thinking about what life might be like without my husband. But for now, divorce isn't an option for me. I've gotten used to the coldness in our relationship, but there's one more thing that bothers me. On weekends, my husband takes our daughter to his parents' house, which is only a few minutes away by car. My mother-in-law is the only one who lives in her house now, and she and my husband are very close, so he visits her often. It wouldn't be a problem if it were just him, but he always takes our daughter Monica with him, even though she's at an important stage in her life with school. I used to go to my in-laws' house too, but my mother-in-law always treated me poorly. She would say things like, "Nora, can you go shopping for me?" Then she asked me to get heavy items like ketchup, oil, rice, and drinks, and insist that I ride my bike instead of driving. She purposely made things hard for me. On special occasions like New Year's Eve or Thanksgiving, they wouldn't prepare meals for me and acted like I didn't exist. Because of this, I eventually refused to go to their house. "Hey, we're going to my mom's again this weekend," my husband would say. "No, your mother will just harass me again," I replied. "What are you talking about? Just do what she says," he'd respond. "Why aren't you on my side?" I asked. "Oh, you're such a bother. You don't have to come anymore," he said. After that, he stopped telling me when he was going to his mother's house. Instead, he began taking our daughter with him, even though she doesn't want to go because she needs to study. He forces her to go anyway. When he comes back from his mother's house, he's in a good mood and doesn't hurt me, which is a relief, but I'm worried about my daughter. When Monica comes home, she always looks upset and locks herself in her room. Her gloomy expression concerns me. My mother-in-law is very protective of my daughter, so I'm sure she hasn't treated her as badly as she treated me. One night, after my husband went to bed, my daughter came out of her room. Her face was red, and it looked like she had been crying. "Hey, Mom," she said. "Is something wrong?" I asked. "Nothing, I'm just going to bed. I have school tomorrow," she replied. "Are you sure?" I asked. "Yeah, good night," she said. It seemed like she wanted to talk, but I didn't want to push her. I had no idea why she was crying. One weekend, my husband tried to take our daughter to his mother's house again. "We're going to my mom's today," he said. "Okay, I'm going," my daughter replied, without complaining this time. She was supposed to come back later that day, so I decided to go to the supermarket to buy ingredients for dinner. What should I make today? I thought. A beef steak would be nutritious. Since my husband had taken the car, I had to take the bus. While waiting at the bus stop, I suddenly got a severe headache. Another headache? It's really bad today, I thought. I've been having headaches for 3 weeks, but this one was worse than ever. The pain became so unbearable that I collapsed. When I woke up, I was in a hospital room. A passerby had called an ambulance and brought me to the hospital. The doctor said they didn't know what caused my headache, and I needed to stay in the hospital for tests. After the doctor left, my daughter came in. "Mom, are you all right? I got a call from the hospital and rushed here," she said. "Sorry for making you worry. Is your father here too?" I asked. "Of course not. I came by myself," she replied. "Okay, it looks like I'll be in the hospital for a while," I said. "The doctor told me earlier. I'm sure you're just tired, so get some rest," my daughter reassured me. "Thank you," I said. My husband didn't come to the hospital or contact me at all. Even during a time like this, he didn't care. As I was thinking about this, my daughter brought me some fruit. "I got permission to bring you some fruit. We can eat it together, and maybe you'll feel better," she said. "All right, thank you," I replied. My daughter started putting the fruit on a plate when her phone rang. It was sitting next to me, and I saw that my husband was calling. "Monica, it's Dad," I said. "I can't take the call right now. Can you put it on speaker?" she asked. I did as she said and put the call on speaker. My husband's voice came through. "Good morning, sweetie. How's she doing?" he asked. "She just woke up," my daughter replied. "She's already awake," my husband said, sounding surprised. I held my breath, confused by what he was saying. My daughter, sensing something was wrong, quietly took something out of her bag. "Isn't it strange that she's already awake?" my husband asked. From a distance, I heard my mother-in-law's voice. "She's awake already. That's odd. I used more than usual," she said. "More than usual?" I wondered, starting to worry. "Did you mix the dog medicine with her food?" my mother-in-law asked. "Yes, I started with a small amount so she wouldn't notice, but I used more this time and it didn't work," my husband replied. "Dog medicine," I thought, horrified. "I looked it up and it's harmful to humans, but I guess it wasn't enough," my husband continued. "I got some sleeping pills from the psychiatrist last time, so I'll mix them in next time." "That sounds like a good idea," my mother-in-law said. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What were they planning? "If this works, we might get her insurance money," my mother-in-law added. "She has to go," my husband said. "It's the best plan." They kept talking, not realizing I could hear them. "I'll remarry quickly once she's gone, and Monica will be my next target to take out my stress," my husband said. "When you said you'd use her child, I didn't agree at first," my mother-in-law said. "But now, I think I could use the stress relief too." "He'll be fine. I've trained her well," my husband said. "She used to be a bit rebellious when she first came, but now she's under control." "Monica, don't tell her about this. You know what will happen if you do. If anything happens to her, let me know right away. Bye." I was shocked as the call ended. My daughter put away the things she had taken out earlier. "I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Mom," she said. "I'll tell you everything now." Then my daughter explained everything. For over 3 years, my husband had been having an affair. My mother-in-law knew about it, and whenever my husband visited her, he took the other woman with him. The reason he brought my daughter to his mother's house was not just to gain custody of her, but also to make her an outlet for his violence after I left. When my daughter took off her clothes, I saw bruises on her. She told me that my husband, his mother, and the other woman treated her poorly and spoke badly about me. At first, my daughter resisted, but my husband threatened to hurt her if she continued. She stayed quiet and endured it to protect me, keeping everything a secret. While at my in-laws' house, my daughter overheard my husband planning to kill me. He started by mixing a small amount of dog heart medicine into my food, and he planned to gradually increase the dosage once I got used to it. When my daughter found out, she did her own research to gather proof. When they got the call that I was sick, my husband was happy and told her to check on me. That's why she asked me to put the call on speaker, to make sure I could hear it. While they were talking, she had a recording device in her bag and was secretly recording everything. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, Mom," she said. "I know it's hard to hear, but now we can get a divorce and you can get custody, right?" She paused and added, "I've been keeping this from you. He used to hit me when you weren't around. I'm sorry I didn't let you know. I guess we're both to blame for what happened, but now it's time to fight back. They've been arrested. People might call you the daughter of a criminal. Are you okay with that?" I asked my daughter. "I'll be fine. I've got proof of the abuse and I've talked about it with a friend. I'm also going to take your maiden name instead of Dad's," she said confidently. "I didn't realize you'd thought about this so much." "Let's fight back," she said. So I contacted my lawyer and the police. I explained everything to the police, my lawyer, and the doctor when they arrived. The police found the dog heart medicine and evidence of many online purchases at my in-laws' house. As a result, my mother-in-law, husband, and his mistress were arrested for attempting to murder me. My husband had taken out a large life insurance policy on me, planning to enjoy life after I was gone. According to their statements, they also wanted custody of my daughter, not only to use her for housework but also to avoid paying child support. When I heard all of this, I was furious. My husband's plan was absurd, and it's never okay to kill someone. My mother-in-law and his mistress were just as crazy for going along with it. Although my daughter had to deal with being the daughter of a criminal, she didn't seem to mind. We quickly divorced, and my daughter and I both changed our last name to my maiden name. We considered changing schools, but my daughter explained the situation to her school officials and classmates. She made it clear that her father was the one at fault, so she wasn't bullied. She worked hard and passed the entrance exam for the nursing school she wanted to attend. Since the school was near my parents' house, we decided to move in with them after she graduated from high school. When my husband gets out of prison, I'll be filing for compensation with my lawyer. I left the hospital a few weeks later, feeling much better. Now, I work from home, writing essays and novels on my blog. Writing about what my husband and mother-in-law did to me helps me process the trauma, even though I still have flashbacks. My life with my daughter is peaceful now without the fear I once felt. Every day, I enjoy this new chapter, and I'm confident that the painful memories will slowly fade over time. One day, I'll be able to completely move on and start my life anew.